Have you ever had times in your life when you felt alone, when you felt defeated, and then the depression started to set in? Wanted to know why you were in the situation you were in? Well, in the Old Testament, King David was in a similar situation. And I'd like to read one of the Psalms that he wrote in response to his circumstances. In Psalm chapter 142, "With my voice I cry out to the Lord." This is Yahweh. "With my voice I plead for mercy to Yahweh. I pour out my complaint before him. I tell my trouble before him." The background to this psalm is that David is actually on the run from King Saul. Because David was anointed as the next king of Israel, King Saul became jealous and wanted to kill David. So David runs into the wilderness and is hiding in caves. And he calls out to God in his distress. And he lays before God this complaint. This isn't like a complaint like, God, why aren't you changing the circumstances because you said I was supposed to be king? This is his complaint and saying, this is what I'm dealing with. Here's my troubles. I'm telling God what's going on. And he continues on in verse 3, "When my spirit faints within me, you know my way. In the path where I walk, they've hidden a trap for me. Look to the right and see. There is no one who takes notice of me. No refuge remains to me. No one cares for my soul." He feels like there's no one out there with him, fighting with him, struggling with him. But God knows, he says. He says, "When my spirit faints within me, you know my way." David's saying, God, you know what I'm going through here. You know the path that my feet walk. And that's true for us. God understands what we go through. And so therefore, in verse 5, it says, David, he says, "I cry to you, O Yahweh. I say, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Attend to my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, for they are too strong for me. Bring me out of prison, that I may give thanks to your name." In the times when he's feeling so lonely and so defeated, all alone by himself, as though nobody cares for him. As he says, nobody cares for his soul, he feels like. He calls out to God and says, God, you are my refuge. You are the safety. You are the place where I can go. And he also says that, God, you are my portion. That means that you are my inheritance. You're the thing that I'm going to receive and be satisfied with. And then he asks for deliverance. Deliverance from the people who are chasing him, his persecutors, and deliverance from prison. This would be the circumstances that he's found himself bound in, where he's on the run, hiding from people. And I think that this is where we can learn from David that in times when we feel alone and we feel like we're up against the world, like at work, maybe nobody is helping us and everybody's expecting everything from us, that we aren't ever alone and that there is always one who cares for us. God cares most. And he's concerned about everything that we go through in life. And when we call out to him, we should acknowledge that he is the one who can help us. Even if nobody else can, God always can. And he is our portion and the one that we can be satisfied in times of trouble.